Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IndieZoNe. My name is Kathy. Over the course of the past several days, the public has been privy to so much information that has been beyond the public realm and has been under seal, that is starting to paint a picture of what this case is all about from both sides, from the defense and from the state side. And one bit of information that we finally did receive was when the defense released two photographs of alleged to be suspect vehicle 1 at two critical points very close to 1122 King Road, taken on that terrible morning of November 13th, 2022, near the intersection of Queen Road and King Road. It was the first time that the public has ever seen an official photograph from the court records of what is alleged to be suspect vehicle 1, much less 2. Well, we have now seen even more images of what suspect vehicle 1 looks like directly from the prosecution. It is dated March 17th, 2025. It is within the state's response to the defendant's motion in Limine number 12 regarding the make and model of suspect vehicle. And what the state is essentially doing here is responding in opposition to the defendant's motion in Limine number 12 relative to the make and model of suspect vehicle, aka suspect vehicle 1, that the world was first introduced to, as described by Detective Brett Payne in the December 29th, 2022 affidavit of probable cause. This document states under the facts section that on November 13th, 2022, Moscow Police Department responded to 1122 King Road, here and after the crime scene. And investigators found 4 individuals, these were the 4 students, who passed away from their wounds. We're on page 2 now. Investigators canvassed the crime scene area for surveillance footage to identify, or at least to attempt to identify, ladies and gentlemen, the perpetrator. And a surviving roommate, identified here as D as in David, M as in Mary, DM, reported to law enforcement that she was woken up around 4 a.m. by noises, and that investigators were able to obtain surveillance footage from 1112 King Road. This is a house that is directly adjacent, or was, to 1122 King Road. And this surveillance footage from 1112 King Road picked up audio of, quote, voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud, end of quote. And in addition, a dog could be heard barking starting at 4:17 a.m. And that DM reported around this time she saw an unknown male in the residence walking toward the rear exit of the residence. The 1112 King Road video shows a white sedan entering the crime scene area at 4:04 a.m. This same white sedan is seen departing the crime scene area at 4:20 a.m. at a, quote, high rate of speed, end of quote. This response goes on to say that based on this information, investigators focused on identifying the make and model of the white sedan hereinafter suspect or questioned vehicle seen on the 1112 King Road surveillance, and the suspect vehicle is seen on the 1112 King Road surveillance prior to the crimes. And it says here that suspect vehicle makes 3 initial passes by the crime scene before entering a 4th and final time at 3:30 a.m., 3:33 a.m., 3:38 a.m., 3:40 a.m., 3:56 a.m., and 3:58 a.m., and then at 4:04 a.m. It continues, video surveillance capturing the suspect vehicle was collected at additional places near the crime scene prior to the homicide, and it gives the various residences. And it goes on to explain how investigators provided the video footage that had been collected, and it's extensive footage here that it's described, to the federal agents to determine the year, make, and model of the suspect vehicle on the 1112 King Road surveillance. And they give the name of the forensics examiners, and that they were finally able to boil it down to a Hyundai Elantra. There is a footage of this car that was captured from the surveillance cameras. It's the very, very last page. It's entitled Make Model Chart Number 3. And there are, it looks like 5 separate images. And there's one from the side. It's the very top. And it appears that it's in motion. And then there's photographs of what looks like headlights. And then from the rear. And then again from the front and departing. It says here the 3rd brake light, lower window, and arriving. We have never seen these images before. Next to it, there's some, it looks like trade models, newer models of these cars from all angles. But basically what the state of Idaho has also done is put in extensive details, maps, positioning where the car was in relation to 1122 King Road and in the area. There's also a very detailed breakdown of the travels of this vehicle on November 13th, 2022 that I recommend that you take a look at if you have an interest in the case. And there's detailed maps and detailed information. And what the state's position is this is such important evidence. It's competent evidence, and it needs to stay in the case. Ashley Jennings, in her conclusion section of this filing, page 8, states, in conclusion, the state respectfully requests deny the defendant's motion and rule that the state's expert is allowed to testify at trial in accordance with the state's expert disclosure, which includes the opinion that the vehicle captured on the 1112 King Road video shares similar characteristics to a 5th generation Hyundai Elantra between the years of 2014 and 2015, which is the car that Mr. Kohberger owned. Respectfully submitted on the 17th day of March 2025, Ashley Jennings. And now we await the defense's reply brief. They're trying to get this information from being prevented to be shown to the jury this summer when Mr. Kohberger stands trial. If you have any questions, any comments, please let me know. And as always, this is Kathy. Thank you so much for joining us here today.